Hi and welcome to the weekly vlog. I'm Tara Swiger, and mostly on Mondays I share little bits behind the scenes, my travels, and because it's July 1st I wanted to share what I am reading this month. The list is really big. This is only some of them, I can't lift them all. And I actually shared how I read so much and how I keep track of everything and how I use my library. These are mostly library books in this week's episode of the podcast. So you can find it by searching Explore Your Enthusiasm on iTunes, or you can watch it here on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, just go to my previous video. It's like the summer reading guide. This month, I'm actually doing 2 reading challenges. The first is I'm doing my OWL, and I am doing a reading rush from July 22nd to 28th. And it's a week-long, it used to be called YouTube Bookathon, but now it's on YouTube and it's on Instagram. Whether you have a YouTube channel or not, you can participate. And so I will be attempting to read a lot of books and meet some of the challenges for that, July 22nd through 28th. And then I just have books that I have to read because I've been on the wait list forever and they finally came in from my library. So let's start there, then we'll talk about books from my OWLs, and then we'll talk about the reading rush. First up, I just got this from the library today, The Better Sister by Alifair Burke. If you've been watching for a while, especially my reading roundups each month, you know I went through a phase last year where I read everything Alifair Burke had out. This is the next book that she wrote. It's not in a series, but she does like mystery, thrillers, a lot of like domestic suspense. So I'm very excited to read this. I have no idea what it's about, but I'm excited about it because I love her writing. Also due in 2 weeks at the library is Evie Drake Starts Over. Is it Evie? I think it's Evie. Has 2 V's. Maybe it's Evie Drake Starts Over by Linda Holmes. Linda Holmes is she's the host of the NPR Pop Culture Happy Hour, which is a podcast I've been listening to for at least 5 years. And so when I saw that she had a novel that came out, I had to read it. So even though my library's marked it as romance, and I don't typically read romances, I have heard an interview with her on Nerdette podcast. Yeah, I'll link it up in the show notes, where she talked about writing her first novel after the age of 40 and how she finally followed through on a dream she'd been holding on out for a long time. And I love that. I'm looking forward to the novel. Now, Anne Bogle is the host of the podcast What Should I Read Next, which I highly recommend you listen to if you like audio podcasts and you like reading. This is her book about personality stuff. I already got started on it. You can see my bookmark in there. I'm enjoying it so far. If you are into the Enneagram or like Myers-Briggs personality type, if you know your Myers-Briggs personality type or your Enneagram number, you should definitely read this book. The other thing that I found when I was on my trip and I was like hanging out on YouTube is the Magical Readathon by Book Roast. So she has put together this amazing set of prompts and ideas and projects based on taking your OWLs levels and then your Newts levels. So if you've read Harry Potter, you know that those are the tests that you take in order to graduate. What she's actually done is given a prompt for each course you could take, like book based on that prompt, you've taken that OWL. And then she does that in April, and then she does Newts, which are like more advanced, more books per prompt, in August. And I was reading it, and I was like, I missed it, and then I realized I could just do it myself in July. So if you are taking your OWLs in July, let me know. I will link her up in the YouTube show notes. She not only creates prompts for the individual classes, but she also puts together a study guide for different careers. So the careers I considered are like journalist or writer, librarian. One of them is zoologist. The one I'm gonna pick for this year, my OWLs and my Newts, is herbologist, which is like the study of plants and taking care of plants and using essential oils and potions. I'm totally on board, right? Like this is totally what I actually do for my job anyhow. So I need to take 3 OWLs. I need to take herbology, and the prompt is, it has a picture of a plant on the cover. So for that, I have 2 options. I have The Cruelest Month by Louise Penny. This is her 3rd book in the Inspector Gamache series, the Three Pines Mystery, which I already read the first one in June, and I loved it. So The Cruelest Month by Louise Penny, or Every Hearted Doorway by Shannon McGuire. You see this has some trees on the front. This is about kids who have like gone to magical worlds like Alice from Alice in Wonderland and the kids from Narnia and then they come back to the real world. It's like about a school for kids who have come back to the real world and they don't fit in the real world anymore because they've had this amazing experience. So the school kind of collects kids like that who are back through the wardrobe, through the looking glass, and I've had it recommended by several just people that I like, both on Goodreads and on YouTube. So it's Every Heart a Doorway, and it's got trees on the cover. The next class is Care of Magical Creatures, and it's had a land animal on the cover. And let me tell you how hard that is. Oh, I got the Golden Compass, which I've been meaning to read forever. I know y'all read it like years ago. It's YA, but it has a polar bear. So I'm pretty sure it's a magical polar bear. And so that will count for that. And these I'm just gonna read this month at any time this month. They might go during the reading rush. They might happen before the reading rush because the reading rush is not till July 22nd. I gotta read some books before then. And then the last prompt is Potions, which is just to read the next ingredient. So a sequel. So either The Clueless Month can count for that if I don't use that for the plant on the cover, or Started Early, Took My Dog by Kate Atkinson. So this is, none of these are really sequels. They're more like another book in a series about the same characters. If you read Tana French's The Dublin Murder Squad, you know how her series it's got the same, watch one before it to get where it's going. So Kate Atkinson, who wrote The Transcriptionist, which was a really big book of last year, has these Jackson Brody mysteries, and the detective is Jackson Brody. He's actually a retired detective, now he's a PI. This is the fourth book in that series. Her fifth book in that series, Big Sky, just came out. I'm like number 5 at the library, so I thought I'd read number 4 before it came, and so it's kind of like a sequel. Also, because this is number 3 in the Inspector Gamache mysteries, that counts as a sequel. Or for that matter, if I really love Every Heart a Doorway, it has a sequel as well. So that will be the third book. I will most likely read that during Reading Rush because all of those books fit something for Reading Rush. So let's talk about Reading Rush. Reading Rush used to be called YouTube Bookathon. Now, this year, they have a whole new website. They have badges you can earn, but the gist of it is you read as much as you can from July 22nd till July 28th, and there's lots of prompts, ideas, Instagram prompts, video prompts, and I will most likely, if I can, toddlers willing, I will do a daily vlog during that time. So, they have challenges, and they just posted the challenges. I will link up their website over on YouTube or on my website. So one of their challenges is read a book with purple on the cover. Girls, I looked everywhere for books with purple on the covers that I have not read yet. And the one I found that I've been meaning to read forever is This Will Only Hurt a Little by Busy Phillips. Now, I think of this as a pink book, but in fact, this color is lavender. Would you say that's lavender? I'd say that color right there is purple. So we're counting this. There are not a lot of books with purple on the cover. So I will be reading this for the pink on the cover or purple on the cover challenge. The next challenge is read a book that you meant to read last year. This book also fits that because I bought it when it came out in October. I love Busy Phillips. I love Freaks and Geeks, which she was on. She tells stories about. I just didn't get to it. So that fits that. Read a author's first book. So for that, I have Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I never read this. What? I can't believe it. So I'm super excited to read Sense and Sensibility during the Reading Rush. And then the next challenge in the Reading Rush is to read a book with 5 or more words. Now, This Will Only Hurt a Little counts. So if I'm stressed for time, I really only have to read like these 2 books, and they cover all of the challenges. But I'm going to read more than 2 books in that week, probably. So another book that fits that is Started Early, Took My Dog. I might save that for the Reading Rush. Or another book that just came out, Scoot Over and Make Some Room. It's by Heather Avis, who is an adoptive mom of 2 kids with Down syndrome and one child who's a person of color who's a different race than her and her family. So she talks about how we can, as communities, make rooms for families who don't look like ours and kids who don't look like we expect them to look like, for families who just don't fit in. So I started reading it. It's great. I may read the rest of it before Reading Rush. I may read during Reading Rush. I like to have options. So for that 5+ title challenge, Scoot Over and Make Some Room, Started Early, Took My Dog. or if I'm really don't have a lot of time, this will only hurt a little. This one I'm struggling with. You guys can help me with this one. It is read a book with a main character who's not a human. So this could be an alien, this could be an animal, this could be a plant, you know, whatever. I am thinking the Golden Compass will fit this. So I'm going to save this and read it during Reading Rush. But many of you have already read the Golden Compass, so you tell me, are the animals main character? I mean, are they characters in the book? They don't have to like talk or anything. But like Bo and Raylan are main characters here on this YouTube channel. If they're not, then tell me a book that you liked based on what I've talked about, that you think. Okay, so the very last challenge of the Reading Rush is to read a book and watch the movie adaptation. And for that, I'm counting Sense and Sensibility, because there is no book and movie I want to watch more than Sense and Sensibility. I have been saving up that movie forever. That is my July TBR. I will be back talking about books around July 22nd for Reading Rush. I would love to hear what you are reading this month, if you're taking part in the Reading Rush. What are you reading? What is your TBR for the Reading Rush? Make any suggestions for any of those prompts. I love to hear your suggestions. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can find links to everything over on YouTube or on my website, and I hope you guys have a fantastic week.